your bags, grab your old blue jeans. We're gonna go fishing in a mountain stream. I know a little shack way up in the hills, 25 miles from Harrietville, in the high country. Honey, you should see all the stars up there. They shine so bright through the cold night air. I'm gonna build you a fire that'll burn real hot, and I'll stay with you at the old campfire in the high country. I got my four-wheel drive and I'm ready to roll. I wanna go flying up an old dirt road, up in the hills where the brumbies roam. This land must surely be God's own, in the high country, in the high country, yeah.
Let's go back to 2008, Australian of the Year, well publicised. How was that for you, and how did it change your life that you could basically bring awareness to the situation in country Australia that you're so passionate about?
Well, I'm probably made a lot of friends out there, and a few enemies as well, because reporting what was going on at ground level in the bush in a lot of those drought-affected towns wasn't what some of the politicians wanted to hear. But it had to be told and it had to be documented, so I did it.
Was that a shock for you, by the way, when it was awarded?
Oh, it was a huge shock. I was just about to sort of head into the studio and make a new record and get out on tour, and suddenly the whole year was turned upside down, and I ended up not touring that year and concentrating more on just visiting the towns and the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned to Vox FM, and I'm speaking with Australian country singer stroke legend Lee Kernaghan, and Lee's just released a double CD edition of his album Planet Country. Planet Country was released about a year ago, but he's added in another CD, Bringing the Music Home. Lee, you were talking earlier about your upcoming tour, pubs, clubs and car parks. Are you going to get to tour the whole country?
Well, mate, as much of the country as we can. A big part of the tour is not only playing the towns, but we're doing a model search, looking for some country girls to profile and maybe give a chance to make it in modelling.
Okay.
The winner of the model search will get to be in one of my video clips, and R.M. Williams are also interested in being involved and utilising one of the models in their big catalogue shoots. And there'll be a star search. We're looking for some talented people out there, and regardless of the genre, whether it's rock, pop, country, blues, you name it. And the winners in each town will get to do support on the pubs, clubs and car park show, and go into the draw into the grand final. And the winner of the grand final will get a national record release on ABC Universal Music.
Have you toured much overseas?
Not really, mate. I don't think I've done any sort of touring. I did a few dates in New Zealand about 20 years ago.
And that's it?
But no, I've kept it sort of homegrown and kept it here in Australia.
You do so much touring and performing. How do you maintain your voice? Do you have a set routine?
Well, what I've just recently started doing is going for a run before the show, and I've found that I sing so much better because I'm warmed up. There's also a singing teacher called Renee Grant Williams who's taught everyone from Garth Brooks to Keith Urban. So I do get some lessons with her, and she's helped me a lot. I've noticed the difference on listening to, say, Planet Country and the New Bush compared to, say, Three Chain Road. There is a bit more technique.
Okay, what do you mean by technique? What do you actually hear listening to yourself?
Well, there's a resonance that you get taught, and it doesn't really change how you sing too much at all, but there's a certain tone that comes when you're breathing right and you're positioning you're anchoring and positioning your vocal correctly.
Yep.
You get a kind of like a buzzy kind of it's a resonance. It's like having a real nice vocal preamp on your voice. It tends to make the words pop out a little bit more and sound better. So it's very subtle, but a lot of the top acts are sort of right into it.
Favourite Lee Kernaghan song? Do you have one, and if so, why is it your favourite?
All-time favourite? There's so many of them that you know, I love for different reasons. I was just listening to the Rules of the Road album just the other night, and I never listened to my own albums, but for some reason I was bored.
I hope you weren't bored after you listened to it.
And I had the iPod, and I just sort of flicked through, and I thought, Rules of the Road, and I played actually the Rules of the Road song, and I thought, man, I haven't heard that in ages, and it's good to hear it. And then I came across the things that I'd done, the duets with Tex Morton and Buddy Williams, that they were recorded posthumously, you know, after their deaths. But,
yeah.
And as I go back through the albums, and like When the Snow Falls on the Alice, I've had the Hattown album and Electric Rodeo and stuff. They all, lots of sentimental favourites. So, songs are kind of like your children. Once you sort of write them and record them, and you've kind of given birth to them, and they don't belong to you. Well, they belong to you, but they also belong to the rest of the world. And once they're out there, you can't disown them. You know, they are yours, and you must claim responsibility.
I love it. In that last answer, you told us about getting bored and having full responsibility. Great answer. Look, Lee, we haven't got much time left, so just quickly, who would you class as your greatest musical influence?
Probably Hank Williams Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, because when I was in my teenage years, Hank and David Allan Coe and Waylon, they started a revolution in country music. There was country, but it rocked and it was wild, and they were outlaws, and it really appealed to me, the way that they told it how it was, and every album was almost like another chapter in their life story. So parts of that have sort of stuck with me, and I've tried to emulate it through my career.
Lee Kernaghan, thanks so much for your time. Look, all the best with your pubs, clubs and car parks tour, and maybe add a garage and balcony in there as well.
Good on you, mate. Well, we'll see you out on the road, Dave.
Thanks so much, Lee. If you'd like to find out more about Lee Kernaghan, go to leekernaghan.com.au. Once again, Lee has just released a double CD edition of his album Planet Country, the second CD being titled Bringing the Music Home. This is Vox FM 106.9 Wollongong.
When I needed a friend, whoa, you've jumped right in. Yeah, he's seen better days and he just hangs about. He's lost a few teeth now and his coat's fallen out. It'll break my heart after all we've done when I call his name and he don't come. Mate, we've been through thick and thin. Times you've saved my skin when I needed a friend.